Hi there. I'm Susie Kerr-Wright. I'm an astrologer, psychic medium, tarot reader, Reiki master, and life coach. I do a lot of things. Here to help whenever you need me. My website is astrogirl12.com, and you can schedule an appointment there. You can find out all about me on my website, and you can schedule an appointment right online anytime. So thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share my thoughts about this insanely cool event that we have coming up on December 21st of 2020. It's a phenomenal astronomy event and astrology event. So some of the things, I'm going to break it down into different sections, different ways of looking at it, and give you some things to consider during this time, things that you can do. So December 15th through 17th, we're not really going to hear too much about that time. There will be plenty going on, because what's going to be happening then is the two planets that we're all looking at in the sky, this huge conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, both in the sign, it's going to be in Aquarius, but one of the things that's going to happen between December 15th and 17th is they're going to be in the final stages of their conjunction in Capricorn at 29 degrees. And 29 degrees in astrology is what's known as an anaretic or critical degree. So that whenever planets hit that degree, it's always like super cool to do things like reflecting back on the lessons and the experiences that you've had during their transit through whatever sign it is. So this would be, really the period of time you really want to be reflecting on would be, I would just say broadly, the last 3 years, and focus on the lessons that you've learned around all things Capricorn, like where you've learned how to be a leader in your life, where you've stepped up and, led yourself into things that you want to be doing, where maybe you have persevered through something that was difficult. That's all Capricorn, Saturn kind of themes. So just take a few minutes during those days and just reflect on the accomplishments. That's another Capricorn, your accomplishments, your successes that you have experienced, and give yourself a pat on the back during that time. And then on the 20th and the 21st, that's when the big shift is going to happen. That's when Saturn and Jupiter will finally move into the sign of Aquarius and be 0 degrees Aquarius. And actually, they're going to get the closest that they're going to be on the 23rd, but we're all excited about it falling on the solstice, so that's a big deal. They're still going to be close. So now one of the things that makes this so different is that this is the end of a 200-year cycle. So you can reflect back 200 years if you're 200 years old. But what happens is Saturn and Jupiter will come into conjunction, into alignment. And conjunction is a blending of energies. That means the two planets are close together in the sky, appearing to be. They're not really, but it's the impact that it makes with that visual, energetically as well. They come together every 20 years, okay? And what the 200-year cycle is that you're hearing about is that every 200 years, they change elements. So for 200 years, they will come together every 20 years in earth signs, that's what they've been doing. And they'll also, for a period of 200 years, they met up in fire signs. And for another period of 200 years, they met up in water signs. And now what's happening, this is why this is called a great mutation. It's that we're mutating into a new energy, a new energetic cycle for Saturn and Jupiter. And they're going to be in air signs when they enter into Aquarius. So that's a big deal. And it's really amazing that that's going to be happening on, these two gas giants are going to come together in the sky in the middle of the day. It's going to happen, according to Llewellyn book, it's 12:21 Central Time is when that's going to happen. Middle of the day, where the day and the night are equal. And so, hopefully what we're all, seeking and hoping for is balance, right? Fairness, balance, equality. And here's the really key thing about this is one of the things I keep seeing a lot of stuff, and I'm guilty of posting this stuff too, you know, the light always beats the dark, you know, the light will always outshine the dark. And the truth of the matter is light and dark need to coexist perfectly in balance. Think about that. So this is a day to really reflect, set intentions, hold the space for whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it, for the balance of light and dark, for the honoring of both of those things, energies in this world, the balance of light and dark. So very, very important. So going back to the cycle, so just to let you know, so when Saturn and Jupiter move into the air sign Aquarius, they're going to, you know, they'll stay there for 20 years. And then the next sign that they're going to go into in conjunction, because they'll run through all the signs over time. But when they meet up again in this particular configuration, it will be 2040 when they meet up in Gemini. So just if you're counting. So to understand Gemini and Jupiter and Saturn energy, Jupiter, I went to a friend of mine, I'm going to actually hold the book up. A friend of mine, Kim Rogers Gallagher, wrote this book. It's called Astrology for the Light Side of the Brain, and it is one of the funniest books I have ever read in astrology. And it's just, she personalizes the planets, and she is the master at it. She, you know, I think there may be other books out there where people have tried to do that, but nobody's done it as well as she has. It's incredible. So, so I took a little bit of her words to share with you about Jupiter and Saturn. And she says, Saturn is the head of the department of generosity, abundance, joviality, laughter, and excess. He does everything in a big way. And he gets you to boldly go where you've never gone before. And Saturn, she calls him, she says that his wardrobe consists of 2 very conservative suits and a skeptical expression. His favorite word is no, but he also likes wait, stop, don't pretty well. And he's the head of the department of don't you dare, you better not, and just wait till I get to your midheaven. And for those of you that don't know astrology, when you have a Saturn midheaven transit, it can be pretty impactful. That's your career house. So that's another whole video. But yeah, just wait till I get to your midheaven. So, but Kim also said he's like lead, which is strong but malleable. He's dull on the outside, but quite shiny when worked with. And she says the key to Saturn energy is work on it and it will shine. And of course, we know Saturn is the planet that it rules hard work and perseverance. So we've got these 2 really interesting energies blending together here. And I also wanted to kind of throw another little piece in here. I pulled a tarot card for the 21st just to see what, you know, what kind of energy we could get the tarot perspective on the energy that's coming in. And not surprisingly, I got the King of Swords. The King, of course, the swords in tarot are air, so makes perfect sense. And the kings, of course, are the culmination of all of the energies of all of the previous cards that lead up to it. They're the, you know, the mature energy, right? So the King of Swords is someone who, you know, anything that's not logical, he has a hard time with. He's all logic, right? He's wise and he's fair-minded and he weighs things carefully, but you know, he can make up his mind and you can't change his mind. He won't vacillate off of what he thinks. He's good at cutting away, you know, stripping away old beliefs and old ideas. But and if the King of Swords was a person, he'd be like a lawyer, a judge, a doctor, a philosopher archetype. So and then I'm also going to throw in a little bit about just Aquarius in general, and then we're going to pull this all together and talk about where we're going here. So Aquarian, what's Aquarius about? What, you know, do you have any friends that are Aquarians that you know? They're very Aquarian ideals are their communication, they're communicative yeah, like I'm not. Sociable. Aquarius is very eccentric, independent, innovative. They're very friendly, but aloof. You know, they're a little bit hard to get to know, right? You think you know them, but you really don't. They're always marching to the beat of their own drum. They're progressive, intellectual. They're also a fixed sign, though. And again, like the King of Swords, he can be fair-minded, but he can also be very rigid once he decides something. And the Aquarians are very much like that. They can be temperamental. They can sometimes be very cold and opinionated and very, very radical. So their keyword in astrology, or keywords in astrology, are I know. They do know. They know stuff, but do they know everything? With this energy, with the blending of these two planets and this new air energy coming in, and everybody looking forward to getting out of 2020 and going into 2021, there's a lot to think about here. And, you know, one of the things, another thing that Aquarius energy brings to the picture is groups, you know, organizations and groups, and working together and for the collective, and which is great. And a lot of that can sound beautiful and very utopian and idealistic. And I know everybody is we're just dying for something different to happen. I know, I get it. But one of the things that we have to be mindful of, and if you're a light worker, whether you are or you're not, it doesn't matter. You can hold the space for the good and the true, and things to be, you know, to be better and to be right. One of the things to be mindful of is that as we search for inclusion and you know, more inclusion, we have to be careful of excluding. And let me get your mind around that. You know, there's a lot of people talking about you know, things being all sunshine and lollipops, and that is really great. I want to be hopeful. I know this is going to be quite an amazing time that we're heading into. And we just have to be careful that in our desire to be inclusive, we are not excluding. Okay. And I heard Brene Brown, she did a talk on this, and you can probably find it online, about, you know, getting with your tribe, but not letting other people in, kind of thing. So we have to watch out for that. There's a model that, and don't send me emails about it, because I'm just going to preface this by saying, I know that there's problems within this model. What I'm going to do is just kind of give you the top layer of what this organization looks like and is intended to be. But yeah, believe me, I know that it is not perfect, but it's a great model to kind of hold the space for, like, this type of inclusion, this type of world, right? You know, because we should always be celebrating each other's differences, not looking to just tribe up, right? This is what we have going on now that's not working anymore. So, and all of this Aquarian energy, this doesn't just happen on December 21st. We've been in this for a while. Think about that. So, a long time, several years. It's been building up. So, the model that I was going to share is the AA model, the Alcoholics Anonymous model. And the idea is, it's all inclusive, right? Because that particular disease does not discriminate against anybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, anything. Anyone can have this. Anyone can be affected by it. But the group itself is inclusive. Anyone can go to a meeting. Anyone can get help, okay? It is very inclusive. And what they did, and that's a beautiful thing. Everyone helps everybody regardless of who you are, right? And again, I'm just going to say, yes, I know that there's separate groups and all that stuff. That's been happening, but we're just going with the overall model. What it also does, and this is why I picked this model to kind of give you an idea of how this could work, is that they also invite people who do not have the disease into their space to learn about it, right? Anyone can go to an open AA meeting and listen to alcoholics share their stories, and get information. Anyone. So they're inclusive in themselves, in like, come on in, you're welcome here no matter who you are. And they also include others from the outside who don't share that one little bond. They didn't just form this space to, you know, to keep other people out. They opened it up. And then of course there's, Al-Anon, which is the offshoot of that. It's the same principles. And, there's that whole thing. So just as a model surface, like I said, don't send me letters going, the ego's flared up at this meeting and these people left them, it's bullshit. It's just the idea. So we want to be careful when we find this tribe, welcome other people in. Different opinions, different ideas. It's about including everyone and celebrating the diversity, celebrating the differences, right? You may bond with certain people because of a certain belief or a certain feeling or whatever it is that you have. But being inclusive means everybody. You can't just exclude people like that, right? So if that's the goal, and again, we're talking very broad strokes here, so don't come at me. It's just, so I just, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so we have to watch out for where we're getting all caught up over here and going, well, no, we have this and you can't have that. And so, if that's the goal, and, the struggle with the idea of everything being equal and everyone being included is that everyone has their own idea of what that looks like, and what everyone has their own minds. And so the process of this change is going to take some time. And that's where, I've just been being trying to be mindful of not getting caught up in this, everything's just going to be perfect now. I'm like seeing that everywhere, and it's like, oh, okay, hold your breath, because it's like, it's going to take some time. My thinking, is that it may take until, not till that next conjunction in Gemini, but the one after that in Libra. And so, and that's going to be 40 years. So, it can take some time. So, so be patient, and, hold the space for all the good that can come of this breath of fresh air, the new technology we're going to experience, the renaissance of just life in general, the things that we can have in this world. And this really is, Aquarius is, it's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus, Aquarius rules technology. I mean, we're going to see things that we never thought we'd see. I mean, I'm thinking flying cars really aren't that far off. So, another thing I would really love to see is astrology being used more in business to help make decisions, to help people get placed in the right, it's my HR background, right? In the right positions, in the right roles for them. So, they're using Enneagram and they're using Myers-Briggs and all that, in this new age, astrology is ruled by Uranus, Aquarius. So yeah, lots of possibilities here. So let your imagination soar and think about all the wonderful things that can actually be happening, and just be mindful and careful about that. With everything can come an excess, right? Jupiter especially involved in this, of abuse of that sort of thing. So we have to be vigilant and keep an eye out for what's best. I've been taught for a long time that I barely know what's best for me, so I don't know how I could possibly know what's best for anybody else. So it's a little difficult for me to, understand when people start telling me what's best for me. So, we're still individuals, and this Aquarian energy is about the individual. It's about independence. It's about your own uniqueness. So don't lose that. Celebrate that. Immerse in that. Hold on to that. Okay? And enjoy what we have coming. So, and the last little piece here that I wanted to leave you with is I just kind of did a real basic look at for each of the signs about what your focus will be over the next year. And this is something to, if you want to sit on the solstice and, just kind of lean into that energy, write your intentions, do whatever, whatever practices you have. You can do this with these themes in mind, because this is where the energy is going to be leading you, where this particular energy is going to be leading you. And of course, if you want to really look into your own chart, I mean, this is, this is like sun sign astrology. So pay attention to your sun sign and your rising sign. But, if it doesn't fit, make an appointment and we'll look at where all of this is going to be happening in your personal chart. So would love to help you out and help you find that purpose and passion over the next few years. So so just, you do you and celebrate you. So for each of the signs, Aries, this is definitely a time for you to relax and retreat. Understand your connection to life. I think that's going to become more clear to you, what your real, how everything is really all connected. Going to be a lot of like aha moments coming up for them. Spiritual teachings, the things that you've been learning over, the last year or 10 years or whatever it is you've been doing, those are going to be more valuable than ever for you. And this is really like almost like a completion of your first cycle in life. No matter how old you are, you're heading into a new cycle. So don't be bothered if you, I don't want to say don't be bothered, but try to understand if people are cycling out of your life and situations and things that you've been doing for a long time on a regular basis, even the last 20 years, if they start cycling out of your life, it's a natural part of that progression. So be patient with that. Taurus, you're going to have a lot of responsibilities coming in, and this is good. It's going to be very rewarding. You'll be very busy. This is going to be lighting up your career house. So you may change jobs, you may travel more. Your world is going to expand in a lot of ways, and your leadership is going to be called into being. And so expect to see some big changes. I know that's a little difficult sometimes for Taurus, but you've been ready for this for a while. You definitely have. Since Uranus went into your sign, you've been chomping at the bit. So get out there. Gemini, for you, this is all about spiritual growth, and the things you are going to learn this year will blow your mind. So immerse yourself in, law of attraction and just stuff that you've always wanted to learn about. Get into meditation and do all the things, right? Mentors are going to be important to you this year. Interactions overseas and things is more, again, always when we talk about ninth house, it's like, oh, learn a foreign language or whatever. But, you actually may be, if you're a musician, I have a lot of Gemini musician friends, if you're a musician, you may actually be like selling your music overseas or promoting it overseas or things like that. It's going to be a broader reach for you. Writing, this bigger picture thinking, and a maturity that you're going to feel, a lot more confidence and maturity. So that's pretty cool for Geminis. For Cancer, powerful changes are going to bring you a much deeper understanding of yourself. So the changes that have been shifting, you've been through a lot these last few years, and it just feels like you're gonna, like, all of these things are gonna finally be settling in, instead of just looking at things and these things that you've been through and going, phew, okay, I made it through that. It's more like, wow, I really did become a different person because of this. I really am a stronger person. So a lot of really cool stuff. It's very deep. And what also is going to happen is the mask is going to come off. In other words, you're not going to be able to fool yourself or anybody else anymore. It's like, you're getting real. You're getting real. And focus on your possessions, also the value of ownership. What is it that you really want? What's your heart's desire? You know, it's time to go get that house or that car or whatever. You know, have you been driving a beat up car when you have like a crap ton of money in the bank? Go buy yourself a nice car. Shifts like that are going to happen. You know, I know Cancers can be very like frugal, but treat yourself, you know. Leo, awareness of your relationships, that your relationship house is really impacted with this. And you're going to start really focusing on like the impact that you make on other people. Sometimes we don't even really think about that. We just try and be the best people we can be, but we don't realize that things that we say or do, or the example that we're setting is really affecting people. And you're going to start hearing more about that. Relationships can also be tested. There may be a little bit of that going on if you're in a partnership, but also deepened. Okay, so don't be afraid to dig in and figure out, like, if there's a problem, don't shy away from it. Your world is going to be enhanced and expanded in such a big way if you just listen and learn. Virgo, fulfillment. This is a year of fulfillment. Virgos, I feel, have kind of been in this space of not sure about a lot of things, just fine, but nothing great, you know. And put aside the ability, uh, put put your ego aside and step into the ability that you have to be a powerful force behind the scenes or through philanthropic pursuits. You're going to be really looking at and stepping into where you can have the greatest impact as a human being. Okay. Not that you don't always do great things and help people out all the time, but like, you know, sometimes we just kind of do it and we don't really understand like how or why we're doing things. Like this is put some focus into it. Okay, could be a business, it could just be that you just do things differently, you know. But powerful behind the scenes for you right now for this next year. Libra, your creative potential is realized. You could monetize a talent. Romance will be off and on, and that's really on you. I'll tell you why, because this year you're going to want to retreat more than you really ever have. You're going to want to hang back a little bit so that you can really get a handle on who you are and how you want to show up in relationships and, you know, in your life in general. So you're this is where you're going to refine your voice and what you say and how you express yourself, especially creatively. If you're a creative person, this could be a huge turning point year for you. Scorpio, domestic life takes priority. So you may move, you may invest in real estate, or you may be expanding your home or fixing it up or whatever. You also, you know, sometimes this energy will bring caring for an elderly person or taking in somebody that, you know, that needs a little bit of extra help. But at the same time you're doing this and then kind of solidifying that home base, you're going to be ready probably after the first couple of months of the year to get back out again in the world. And you're going to do it with a lot more feeling of like groundedness, I guess you would say. And Robert Hand had a great way of describing this period of time for you. He said it's your inner house that you're getting in order. So yeah, getting your inner and your outer house in order. Sagittarius, learning and sharing, relationships with siblings improve. You could end up in a family business, working for a family business or starting one. There's all kinds of possibilities there. One of the things that you may find challenging this year is not being understood. And this is really a great opportunity for you to understand yourself. What are you trying to communicate, and why is it not being heard the way you want it to? Why are people not understanding you? So this is a great opportunity for you to really check out what you're saying and what kind of message you're putting out there. Are you sending mixed messages? Are you just afraid to ask for what you want? What is it that's going on in your communication? And so, you know, understanding others is the whole key to this. I think it's just, you know, listening enough, and seeing, you know, maybe somebody needs to be spoken to differently in a different manner. I don't know. So very interesting year for you as far as that goes. Capricorn, you're going to be reevaluating your possessions and streamlining your life and investing and understanding the value of things that you either have or you want to acquire. And also looking at what do your things say about you. Very interesting thing to think about. And Aquarius, it's all you, babe. This is all your energy, right? You will be focusing on getting your insides to match your outsides. There's a lot of inner work that's going to be going on. That it's almost like these breakthroughs will be happening, and then you'll be out there like very quickly experiencing the power of having these breakthroughs. So, you know, just, I don't know, say you've always not like something about your physical appearance. It's just a silly example, you know, and it's like getting it fixed. And then all of a sudden, like, you feel like the whole world is different. Well, nothing's really changed. You just had like the mole taken off or whatever, you know. It's like, but insides matching the outsides. It's both. It's a lot of inner work though, and one of the things that is really helpful during this time, I'm not saying all Aquarians should get into therapy, but you might wanna. It's, you know, it's very helpful for, you know, for, or, you know, even coaching. You know, getting a business coach if you're struggling with your business and, you know, you want to be taken seriously, but you feel like you're struggling. That's insides matching the outsides, right? So whatever it is, get some help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and watch out for this year, you know, watch out for procrastination, and also keep a good balance between confidence and arrogance. With Jupiter in the mix, it's like, you know, it can go a little too far sometimes. So just keep a balance of that. You know, sometimes we make these incredible inside changes, and I could, all these stories are coming to my mind right now. I won't share them, but you know, inside changes, and suddenly we're like this monster. You know, it's like, I'm not saying Aquarians are going to be monsters, but just check yourself, okay? So, but it's going to be an amazing year for you to get to know yourself and really be in alignment, like with who you've always wanted to be, I guess, you know, who you think you are and who you always want to be. So great year. So a lot of hope, a lot of possibilities out there, a lot of new breakthroughs. We're going to see technology and space stuff and all kinds of things that like we've never seen before in our lives. And we can't even imagine, you know. I just did a Facebook Live group and I asked everybody, like, throw out some ideas of things you like, you know, and a lot of the things that people were saying were things that were like pretty close to already. So, I mean, that just, you know, but it just proves, like, I can't think of, you know, I can't think of a lot of stuff, but I mean, whoever would have thought that we would be working the way we're working now and doing the things that we're doing with technology? Who would have ever thought that just, you know, 20 years ago? So we're heading into time speeding up and technology speeding up, and you know, we just need to remember to stay human, stay in integrity, stay independent, stay keep you know, keep our own sense of self, keep a strong identity, and you know, set good boundaries, and we will have a rock and rollin' time. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the other side. Bye.